Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're doing well. There have been a few people who've been asking the question, where's Michael Hunter gone? So this is I'm not the first person to raise this subject, but I think it bears repeating because this is a real shame, this guy. Michael Hunter, heavyweight from America. What was he, 34 years old now, originally a cruiserweight. Gave Alexander Usyk probably his toughest fight. He won rounds against Usyk. I mean, it was a clear win for Usyk, and that was in 2017. And that was for the WBO cruiserweight title. And he did well against, the master that is Alexander Usyk. But then he moved up to heavyweight, and you're thinking, what's he doing up there? And he didn't do too badly. Of course, he stopped Martin Bakole in 2018. Bakole since has done very well. That's Bakole's only defeat. Stopped him in 10 rounds. It was a 10-rounder. He stopped him in the final round. I think he injured his shoulder, right shoulder, Bakole. But, he stopped him. Then he beat Alexander Ustinov, who's massive. Not particularly good, but massive. Stopped him in 9 rounds. And this is a guy who's 6'2" and has come up from cruiserweight. And he's taken on these big fellas, which is really good. It's really sort of impressive stuff. And then, he had a few journeymen, or should we say B-, C+ fighters, Fabio Maldonado. And if you look at, actually, let's start with Maldonado, because that was his first fight in 2019. Okay. He had Maldonado. He then beat Sergey Kuzmin, who was undefeated at the time, 15-0, and was regarded as a bit of a prospect. Kuzmin... 15 wins, and I think he had about 10 KOs. I can't remember exactly. It was about 10 KOs, I think, at the time. So he was a threat, and suddenly, the former cruiserweight has moved up and has beaten him, and has, what a great win. And that was his second fight in 2019. And then his third fight in 2019 was against Alexander Povetkin, who he drew with, but I think I share the view that a lot of others have, which is that Michael Hunter deserved that decision. And he really came out of the traps in that fight, banging, looking to bowl Povetkin over, and he nearly did it and all. And yeah, he faded a little bit late on, and Povetkin, I know he failed a couple of drug tests, so there's always a black mark over him, hanging over him, but he is a bit of a warrior. He wasn't someone to be sniffed at. So those 3 wins in 2019 were really, really good. And you're thinking, okay, this guy's got some momentum. He was, I think, 31 at the time. I'll say he's 30. So, he's settled into the heavyweight division. You would think he's got the world at his feet. And he was, at the time, signed a Matchroom. And you're thinking, okay, this guy, he's going places. He can spring an upset against some real heavy-duty guys. The table was set. But where's the food? The food, it didn't arrive. It didn't arrive because in 2020, he had one fight against a guy called Sean Lowry, I think you pronounce it. 10 wins and 3 defeats coming in, Mr. Lowry. And he got stopped in 4 rounds, this Lowry fella. But so what? That was his only fight, Hunter's only fight in 2020. And then in 2021... he had a couple of fights. One was against Mike Wilson, who had a rather misleading record of 21 wins and 1 defeat going in, but was no great shakes at all. And I think, he was stopped in 4 rounds, but I think that was his last fight, the last time he fought Mike Wilson. I don't know whether he's retired, whether he's coming back. I didn't know anything about him when he fought Michael Hunter. And then the next fight in 2021 was the second of 2 fights in 2021 was against Jerry Forrest, and that was a draw. And I thought he was rather lucky not to lose that fight, Michael Hunter. I thought Jerry Forrest won that fight. And there's no doubt about it that he gassed badly in that fight, did Hunter. So 2021, not a particularly great year. 2020, completely nondescript, only 1 fight. He did not build over the next 2 years on those 3 good victories in 2019. And then in 2022, tumbleweed. He didn't fight at all. And in 2023, we're now into May in 2023. He hasn't fought at all. So he's been out of the ring for about 18 months, was it 18 months? 16, 17 months. And he's now 34. So he's lost all momentum. He was with Matchroom when he fought Povetkin, and Matchroom didn't renew his contract. And I thought that was rather an odd thing, because I think at the time Matchroom had Hughie Fury, which ironically, it is ironic, because Hughie Fury was mooted to fight Michael Hunter, and then this is one of the many fights Hughie had to pull out with because of injury and illness. And I think Michael, having been ditched by Matchroom, went looking for some Triller money, didn't he? And that didn't pan out. I don't know what's happened to Triller. Are they packed it in already? Because they were massively overpaying people. And then there was that debacle with Teofimo Stevenson, George Kambosis fight that never was, where they bid astronomical amounts of money, and then they couldn't pay it, they couldn't find the money, so it had to go to purse bids again, or the next highest bidder picked it up, which I think, was it Matchroom? So Forrest didn't get anything out of Triller. I think that was the Jerry Forrest fight on a Triller card. I think it might have been. I can't remember. But anyway, the point is that after that great year in 2019, where he really established himself as a threat to the heavyweight division, Michael Hunter has since then raging boil has gone flat. It's gone cold. The water's gone cold again. And I don't know what's happening with the guy. He's, like I say, missing in action. That's all you can say. I did hear a couple of people mention at this sort of tournament that he was going to be involved in some tournament somewhere. I don't know what it was. Sounded to me like one of those old prize fighter things. But where is he? I mean, come on, man. Surely someone is going to promote this guy, because he's got talent. He can come back and, he's still got time. 34 is not old for heavyweight. He could do some damage. So I'm mystified. Why doesn't he want to fight anymore? Or why hasn't a promoter snapped him up? It's very, very strange. But I mean, a lot of people have said he's ducked. Didn't he duck? Yeah, he did. He ducked Hrgovic. Also, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, he was mooted to fight Hrgovic and ducked him. I think, and I think he actually went on and fought Forrest instead of Hrgovic. By the way, that was his second fight with Forrest. He'd beaten him the first time, which is probably why he took him so lightly. And as far as I'm concerned, he lost that fight. I mean, I really think he just got beaten. I can't really see how anyone can possibly say that he beat Forrest. But anyway. Yeah. Poor old Michael Hunter. You're wasting your talent, mate. You're wasting your career. Get back on the horse quick before it is too late, and before you do get old, retire, and look back and say, what have I forsaken? It's very, very sad to see. Anyway, if you know something I don't about Michael Hunter, let me know. Has he got a fight lined up? Not that I know of. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comments below as usual. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the subscribe button. Takes a second. That's all. Helps us out. Hit the like button on the video if you liked it as well. And of course, we'll speak again soon. Bye for now.